What up, man? It's your big brother K-Rino. Sunday Night Live. Didn't get a chance to make a video for y'all today, so I decided to go ahead and jump on the live with y'all because I had something on my mind that I wanted to discuss with y'all, and hopefully it'll resonate. So I'll wait a few seconds to see who shows up at the party, see who comes to the party, and we'll make it happen. I see my brother from another Miami, Florida. What's up, family DT? What's up, Phantom Face Final? Shout out to all my family. Matt grew up in this thing. All the homies that getting the notifications, man. Spiky, I appreciate that. Because a lot of people don't get the notifications. I hear it all the time. They say, man, I didn't know you went live. I missed it. So for whatever was happening, to why people don't get the notifications, I'm very happy for those of you who always seem to be in the building and on point, man. I appreciate that. I'm a little slow tonight because out of left field, my back started hurting. I wish one of y'all would make an old joke. I wish one of y'all would make an old joke. I know why my back is hurting, so it ain't got nothing to do with being old. But let me see what we got. Oh man, we got the homie Dean, Cold Dean. Happy Savior's Day, man. Oh, come on. I saw Big Daddy Kane at Savior's Day. I saw him. Kane was right on the stage. Right on the stage with the minister. I saw Kane, man. I was glad. I was happy to see Big Daddy up there. With the minister. He's deserving his soul, man. One of our greatest artists. And they my heart, man. Faux tray up in this thing. Yeah. Phantom Face, I can't make no old jokes. I'm busted up. Look, you ain't got to be old to be busted up. And I guess you ain't got to be busted up to be old. I ain't busted up. I'm just, tonight, every now and then my back just acts funny with me, This happens every so often. They hadn't done it in a while. So I can't really even be mad. But yeah, man, Savior's Day was beautiful, man. Happy Savior's Day. And Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan once again dropped a live. He went into some divine teachings and wisdom today, just some things that he was shown, that God showed to him, that's getting ready to happen, and that have already happened. So stay tuned, man. Stay tuned. Next album, I'm in that stage, Miami. I'm in that dormant state that I go into after I put out a lot of product. I go into like a little cocoon where I don't really do nothing for a couple of months. And then all of a sudden, blow, a new album starts to form in my mind. So it won't be long, it's still early in the year. We got a whole other album that me and the homie Tragic did in Canada that's not even out yet. That'll be dropping this year, of course. But you know me, y'all know that I have one or two more. So you'll definitely see two, inshallah, but you may see three this year. And three ought to hold it. Yeah, what's all this? Just a recharge. Sometimes you got to recharge that battery, man. Cause I don't cheat y'all. I do my best to not cheat. And when I go in, when I pick this boy here up, I try to give it all I got, man. Yeah, we're gonna get right into the topic, man. The topic is actually a product of something that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said today, because he started speaking about he touched on envy. He touched on people wanting things that other people have. And it just made me think to do a topic about it, even though I've done several topics about this, several videos about this topic. I wanted to go kind of more in detail and get some wisdom from you guys as well. Michelle say proud from playing basketball. Yeah. But acupuncture, oh my gosh. I don't know how I feel about that. But yeah, the minister was just speaking about how we shouldn't have this spirit of envy in us. And so the question becomes, what is envy? And a lot of times people make the mistake of confusing jealousy and envy. And they think that jealousy and envy are the same word or mean the same thing. Jealousy and envy is not the same thing. Now, a person can be jealous and envious at the same time, but jealousy and envy are not the same words. Envy is seeing something that a person has and wanting what that person has for yourself. And to take it a step further, not just wanting what the person has for yourself, but you don't even want the person to have what they have, even if they worked for it. Envy means I don't care if you worked for it, I should have it and you shouldn't. And a lot of times there's no mathematical formula to explain why you should have it, because you have not put in the work or the time to achieve it. And even if you have put in the work and the time to achieve it, but you haven't got it yet, that still is no cause for you to be envious and wish that someone who does have it will no longer have it. Even if you've worked hard to get it, you've worked super hard to get it, and they may not have worked super hard to get it. They may have inherited it. They may have been given the position. They may have, they may be beneficiaries of privilege in some form or fashion. And you've been busting your back, no pun intended, and you haven't got there yet. So now you start to direct that spirit of envy, that spirit of envy starts to stir up in you to where you just hate that person because of what they've been blessed with, for whatever reason. If a person has something and you don't have it, it's not your place, or it's not wise to sit around mad about what they have, because whatever they had, God blessed them with it to have it, or he allowed them to have it. So it still fell under his will for them to have it. So that alone should be something that you shouldn't argue with. Man, he don't deserve that. He just started working here last month. They already moved him up to the, he don't deserve that. He ain't put in the time that I put in. He ain't been grinding. Man, I've been here all these years. He don't deserve that. I should be the one. Hey, man, you're not the one. And if you feel like you should be the one or should be in a position or should have something that you don't have, it's a simple mathematical formula. Work harder. Figure out what mistakes that you are making, because you may be making mistakes. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not stupid. Sometimes a person can work and deserve a spot, and another person's privilege or who they know or their connections might jump them ahead of you. That does absolutely happen. And you did deserve it. But even when that happens, it was still something that God allowed to happen for whatever reason. And you have to keep pushing. You may be being protected from something. You may not have got that, whatever it is you was trying to get, because had you got it, something may have went wrong in your life, or it may have took a turn, or may have backfired on you in a way that you didn't see coming. And so it maybe was a protection. But we should never go into the mindset that I see what you got and I should have what you got. If I got mine, even if I don't have anything, I want what's for me. I don't want yours. You need yours. I don't want your car because you need your car. You have places that you have to go. You have things that you have to do, children that you need to take to school, errands that you have to run, a job that you need to get to every day. I don't want your car. I don't want your house. That's your house. I can't look at your house and go, man, I should be living in that nice 2-story house. It's not my house. I want my house. I want the house that's for me. I can look at what you have and say, man, I would love to have something like he has. I would love to have one of those, but I should never want the one that you have. I shouldn't want the one that you have. I should want my own. When they made that car, they made a bunch of them. That means I can get me one of them. I can get one that looks just like the one you got. I can get the same rims. I can get all that. When they built that house, hey man, I can get me one design that look just like it. The money you have, I can work towards getting that amount, whatever it is. And I can enjoy the blessing of having what's for me. Because what the envious person doesn't seem to always think about is that while you are envying somebody else and wishing that you had what they have, not one like it, you wishing that you had theirs. You want his wife, the exact wife. You want her. For the females, you want her husband. You're not thinking, well, I want me a good man like him, like she has. I would love to meet a good woman like that brother has. A woman that does the things that his wife do. That I would love to have that. That's not the mindset. You thinking, I want her. But had you had those things, right, for yourself, or if you get them one day, what we don't think about when we envy, how we would feel when there's somebody envying us. wanting what we have. You wouldn't want anybody to want your stuff because you worked hard to get your stuff. That's why self-respecting people, people with dignity, just regular-minded people, that's why we hate thieves. That's why we hate people who steal and rob and jack and all that, because it's like their objective is to just wait and see what somebody else got, what somebody else worked hard to get, and then move in and prey on those and just swoop, just take in one motion what somebody else worked hard to get. They don't care how much time and effort and hard work you put in, how much money. You may have had to save for 5 years to get that dream car or whatever. But working on having that money, just every dime, and then all of a sudden, in one moment, it's gone. So when you have that envious spirit in your heart, when you start to say or think what somebody else who has something don't deserve to have, and think that you should have it, always try to think about, well, what if I did have it? And somebody was thinking the same way about me, the way I'm thinking about him. I wouldn't like that. I wouldn't like that. So that should be a way that we should check our envy. One of the ways we should check our envy, just to know that, hey man, I shouldn't feel some way about somebody that I wouldn't want somebody to feel about me. That I want you to feel like that about me. Because now you a target. So focus on yours. And when you start to get yours, when you start to kind of move up and start to acquire the things in life, and this is not just about material things. I don't want y'all to think this is a glorification of material things, but typically the material things are the things that people envy you over. They want that watch. They want that necklace. They want the jewelry you got on. They want the tennis shoes you wear. They look at the way you dress. But it's not about the material things. But when you start to get things, when you start to put your time in and put your grind in, and all of a sudden you see the fruits of your labor, right? What that should do for you, it should instill in you a understanding and a confidence that say, okay, yeah, I'm doing this the right way. This is going the right way. Okay, I'm seeing the benefits of my grind. I'm seeing that pay off. And now all of a sudden, okay, I get it now. Yeah, I'm good. And it instills a confidence in you that I'm good enough. I'm good enough. You start to think, hey man, I'm good enough because look what I did. Look what I was able to build. I started out with nothing, and then I built this up from the ground up. I didn't have this. I was walking. I was catching the bus. I was bumming rides. Now I got transportation. Man, I was homeless. I worked hard. Now I got a home. Now I got a roof over my head. I don't care if this is efficiency. So you start to see the mathematical formula play itself out and starts to work. And that takes away your envy. At least it should. Because now you see what it takes. And when you remove that envious spirit out of your mind, you don't even want what nobody else has. You can want, again, something like they have, but you don't want the exact thing. You don't want theirs. I don't want your car. I want my own car. I don't want your I don't want your platinum plaque. I want my own. I don't want your opportunity. I want my own opportunity. Why should I look at your opportunity and want to take that from you? But if given the power, it's a lot of people that would say, okay, well, you know what? I'm going to give an example. And I usually don't like to throw names around like that, but I got to. I'm going to give this example. Did y'all hear the story about Bernie Mac was trying to get the movie role in the Ocean's 11 movie, right? The movie, big movie with George Clooney and a lot of other big name actors in it. And Bernie Mac was in position to get one of the main roles in the movie, one of the big roles in the movie, right? And I think he had actually landed the position, landed the role in the movie. And the story has it that Steve Harvey contacted the producers of the movie and told the producers of the movie that it's just the story. I don't know if it's true or not. But they say he contacted the people over the movie and told them in so many words, hey man, I would be better for that role than Bernie Mac is for that role. Y'all should cast me for that role instead of Bernie Mac. Now, again, I don't know if it's true. I've heard a few people, you know, give their side of the story to say, yeah, that was true, whatever. But if it is true, that's a perfect example of what I'm talking about. Because why would anybody, especially if we are supposed to be friends, we're supposed to be cool. So we supposed to be cool. And I hear you get that role. Okay, boom. DT got the role. Man, DT just got that big movie role, man. I should be clapping it up and congratulating him and happy for him because now I can see that this is a big opportunity for DT. This is a great opportunity for him, his family. This is some life-changing stuff. This is big for him. And you can put yourself in his mind to imagine the happiness and the gratitude that he's going to have for being in this position. He's glad to be in this position. Now, why would I try to take that from him? Only to have that feeling for myself. But if I have that feeling for myself, it comes at the expense of him losing that feeling. So I get on the phone and make a call to say, hey man, DT, man, he ain't got the experience in movies. I've been in a few movies. He don't really know the game. It would be better. And if you did do that, well, I guess this nullifies the question I was about to ask, because I was about to say, if you was to do something like that, right? I don't see how you could sleep at night. I don't see how you can look yourself in the mirror. But I guess it nullifies it because even the fact that you would even do it, that you even had it in your heart to do, lets me know you ain't gonna have no problem sleeping at night. You're not gonna have any problem sleeping at night. But if it's true, it's an example of envy in one sense, and it's an example of greed in another sense, because sometimes people who have more than you, see, envy don't always come in the form of this guy got a lot and this guy don't, so the guy that don't is down here being envious and hating on the person that do. It works in reverse. There's a whole lot of people who are more successful than other people, and they still have envy towards the less successful person. Because however you are constructed, however you are made up in your mind, you're going to be that whether you're successful or not. So you say, okay, well, you know what? Yeah, Steve Harvey's career probably was bigger than Bernie's at that time, right? I contend that Steve Harvey's career has always been bigger than Bernie Mac's. His career, that has always been bigger. But, and I'm using the man as an example. If just because your career is bigger, there are people who may have the bigger career, may have more successful notches on their belt, but they want more, and they may have greed in their heart. So they sitting over here with all this stuff they got over here. They got all this stuff over here, and they look over and see you with one crumb. You got 500 steaks, T-bone steaks, just, and they look over there and see you with one little big beef patty, one little beef patty. And how do you get that beef patty? Wait a minute, hold on, wait a minute. Hey. This dude got a little hamburger patty over there, man. I need to get that. There's people that think like that. Y'all think I'm joking. Y'all think that I'm just saying this is a fact. It's people that don't want you to have nothing, no matter how much they got. There's people like that in your family. It's people that have always been successful, that have always done well, that you know, and as long as they were doing cool and well and fine, I mean, life is great. But the minute you start to ascend, the minute you start to come up a little bit, then you notice they seem to have a problem with that. Why are you mad all of a sudden? I'm still not on your level. But you mad. I hit one lick. You won the Powerball. You won 862 million. I was walking down the street and found a $20 bill on the ground. We was walking together and you wanted the 20. Man, you ought to give me half of that 20. It's people like that. So it's not always about, the envious person is not always the less accomplished or the less successful person. That spirit does not relegate itself to certain individuals. It can rise up in anybody, no matter what level, what class. It doesn't matter. But for you to feel that way about somebody who career-wise, who status-wise is already under you, it's an insecurity and a fear that you have because you've set up a competition in your mind with that person, and that person don't even know that they are in a competition with you. They don't even know you competing with them. But you set up a competition in your mind to where everything you do compared to everything that they do, it's a race. See? But you got to be careful when you do stuff like that, because if you're sitting around plotting on how to keep other folks down or to take what they got, then you setting yourself up on a path to lose whatever you get. You can't do that. You can't do that and think you just gonna ride off to the sunset happily ever after. You can't be dirty like that. It's bad on all levels. But when you are purposely attempting to take what somebody got, I saw this movie where it was a Tubi movie. Lemmy, you still in here? Y'all don't be hating on Tubi. But that was a movie where the lady was hired to be the caregiver for this couple's son, this married couple's son. Now, of course, she was crazy, but the principle was this. She moved into the house to help take care of the son. She got the job. But what happened was, in her delusional mind, she was like, okay, this is my house. That dude is now my husband. This is my family. She starts saying, this is my family. And she's telling herself that the wife, whose house it really was and family it really was, she's trying to take my family away from me. So she went on a quest to try to take over the house, take over the family, and blah, 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 whatever. Now, she was crazy, but you would be surprised how many people get down like that. You move somebody into your house. You moved a friend into your house. And then slowly but surely, the friend starts to try to impose their will on your household. There's a lot of movies like that. But most of the movies they make like that are based around people who are kind of off. But there are people who ain't off in that way. They're not insane. They just manipulative. They just slick and dirty and envious and greedy and opportunistic in an evil way. See? So they're moving your house, man. The next thing you know, they're imposing their will, eating your food, dominating the TV. Come home, they sitting in your spot, your chair. They bringing people into your house. You come home, it's 5 or 6 folks in your house smoking weed and eating your food up. And they slowly but surely try to take over. And if you weak enough, you let them take over your house. And they look at you like, oh, man, what's your problem? One of my favorite shows I watch on ID Discovery is a show called Fear Thy Neighbor, right? But they got a show now called Fear Thy Roommate. And the first episode I ever saw was just that. This dude let this guy move in with him who was down on his luck. And the dude just started taking over the house, taking the man's credit card, and End up killing the dude who let him move in with him. Like, because they walk in, and like that movie I was telling y'all about, soon as they hired the lady to be the caregiver, when she walked in the house, and she started doing it. Soon as she walked in with her bags, she walked in, she was like, hmm. She was already scoping the house out, like, oh yeah, I'm taking all of this. All this gonna be mine. You know, you don't know what's going through people's mind. Because you got a lot of lazy people in the world, crazy and lazy. You got a lot of lazy people in the world who only want what's quick. They want what's instant, like oatmeal. And they don't want to work for nothing. So they rather slide in on what they believe is an opportunity to take somebody else's stuff, take somebody else's spot, not have to work for nothing. All right, y'all, let me see what y'all talking about, because I ain't gonna hold y'all long. Yeah, the movie was called The Caregiver. Y'all go check it out. Hold on real quick, man. I gotta do something real second. Y'all talk among yourselves for a minute. My bad. I'm not eating nothing. Excuse me, y'all. Let me read y'all comment. Ultra Dry says some people were raised that way. Unfortunately, stems from their program. That's true. There's certain households that were so I guess you could use the word competitive, but it was misplaced competitiveness. And they were raised, or there was certain households that didn't have much, and it was like dropping some food into a cage with wild animals, and everybody's fighting for the crumbs, fighting for the scraps. So you kind of grow up with that mindset. It kind of develops like, I got to get it how I get it, even if it means to destroy you to get it. So that's a good point. It's not always about, sometimes it can be that spirit can be developed. Sometimes it can be a situation where a person may have taken a series of losses in their life, right? And it just gets so overwhelming. You know, it may be somebody that have been trying hard, and they just can't get a break. They just can't get a break. And then somebody come along on the first try, and they hit a lick like you, like, I've been trying to do this for 8 years, and you just come in and do it on the first. And it develops that mindset. because you think that the universe is working against you. I'm reading y'all comments, man. Okay. I ain't gonna hold y'all long. Common sense. I appreciate the love, man. Let me appreciate the love, common sense. Thank you for the donation, my brother. JD is in the building. And the scary part about it, and I say scary just from the standpoint of like wow, like weird, is to be hanging around or being around people that are envious of you like that and feel that way about you like that, and you don't even know it because you think that these people are your friends, these people love you, these people are down with you, and they're hanging around you all the time because they're monitoring you. They want to make sure you don't get too far out of their reach, out of their eyesight. And they have these negative feelings about you. They don't even really like you. In some cases, they hate you. And I ain't talking about hate like, oh man, you a hater, man. I mean like hate. They can't stand you. And the reason why they can't stand you is just because you just being you. How crazy is it to hate somebody just for being who they are? Because who they are is creating so much positive energy and so many positive things for them in their life. People love them. People are attracted to them. They are magnetizing to people, and there are those who have a lot of material stuff, but people still don't like them. And they thought that, hey, well, once I get this money, once I'm able to pull up in this particular car, once I show up wearing all this jewelry, then people gonna like me. People gonna be attracted. People gonna gravitate towards me. And you don't have none of that. But everybody still want to hang around you. Everybody still laughing and joking, and they rather come to your thing than go to that other person, because while there are a lot of people who are attracted to money and material things, while that is the case, there's a lot of people who are not. And even those who are attracted to those things, like initially, like early on, like once they see you got them, you can still turn people off once they see how your mind operates. Only the weak would tolerate mistreatment from somebody who got a lot of money or something like that. You just weak, you just a roach. You just somebody who just don't care. You have no dignity, no self-respect. You'll tolerate, you'll put up with it. But the average person, even if they like you, once they feel, you ever met a female, fellas, mostly fellas in the room, but I'll throw this out to Michelle as well. You ever met a female or a guy, if you are a woman, and the outside appearance, you really liked the way she looked, she was beautiful, and he was a nice looking guy, and you just really, oh wow, really would like to get to know her. And then you do. And the minute they start talking, you're like, this ain't gonna work. Because you cannot read minds and thoughts. The thoughts are enclosed inside of this head and this skull and this brain, and you are unable to see them from a distance when you're looking at a physical appearance. The only way that the mind is revealed through the mouth and the actions. So once they start talking, you're like, so much for that. And it's not worth it. You're like, heck no. So you can have all the money, all the riches, all the materials, and but then when people start seeing your personality, your ways, they're like, I don't care what he got. And the person who has all of this stuff, they become confused because they like, man, I thought that me getting all this money and having all this stuff, I just knew that was gonna win me favor with people, or people just gonna gravitate towards me now and love me. And nah, because you still got some messed up ways. Anna Menarche says, I've been called greedy and selfish for not being overly generous. Yeah, I mean, a lot of times when people are trying to take advantage of you, they will try to use reverse psychology on you and manipulate the situation because, look, I'm not being naive and stupid enough to just, you get some money, just give away all my resources. Then, oh, you being selfish. You just wrong. How am I wrong? I peeped out how you move. You're not really trying to better yourself. I peeped out how you move. So how am I wrong? Because I'm not going to let you bleed me out. Because there are people who will do absolutely that. They will, if you let them, you can't give them an inch. Because if you give them an inch, that mile is coming. You can start off offering the mile. Hey, man, here's a mile. That's all I get is a mile. I'm going to need 2 more miles. Okay, here you go. Here's 2 more miles. Okay, I'm going to need 5 more miles. Okay, here's 5 more miles. I'm going to need 10 more miles. They never stop. They're going to go on forever and ever and ever. They never say, all right, man, I appreciate it. You've done more than enough. You can never do enough for people like that until it's all gone. Then when it's all gone, they know it's all gone. Then they gone. See? So don't feel bad if you know you've been generous and helpful to people, and then you reach a cutoff point and you decide, hey, that's enough is enough, and then they get an attitude behind it. Don't get mad at that. Be glad. I'm glad to know how you really are. See? I want mine. I don't want yours. I don't want yours, bro. That's dangerous. Spectre Cruz says, lately it's been my own blood fam that's been showing me their envious, hateful nature to me. Yeah, that's got to be the most painful one, I would assume. Thank God I don't really have family that acts like that. But I would assume they got to be the worst one, because family is always the ones that they say is supposed to be, hey man, if you ain't got nobody else, you got family. And hopefully it's not everybody in the family. You know, if it's one or two people, hey man, if it's one or two cousins, hey bro, cut them loose. I am not a person who believes that you should just constantly just give people a pass because that's your family. And hey man, look, cut them loose. Because the longer they're around, man, the greater the odds are for them to put you in a situation. You'll find out how content you are, man. It's a happy feeling, man. Now think about this. I'm gonna bring it down to a real basic level. You ever seen somebody like you was growing up? Okay, just say somebody got a plate of food. Follow me. Somebody got a plate of food, right? And it's their food. But you got a fork and they say, yeah, man, come on, man, you can get some of it. And you steady scooping, you getting, and they're allowing it, but they eating too, y'all eating, your forks bumping into each other and all. It's like, but in his mind, he wants his own plate. There's something something happens and you get your own plate. Do you know the feeling, how good it feels when you all the way over here at the other end of the table with your own plate? They got theirs, now you got your own. That's a very liberating feeling. That's what you should want. But don't be the person that got your own plate and you worried about theirs. I told y'all a while back about the dog. They let like 5 dogs loose, and it was like 5 bowls of food, enough for each dog to have their own bowl. And this one dog was just trying to eat every bowl. Just he going from bowl to bowl. He running the other dogs off. Anytime he could be at this bowl, and there's another dog down there, another bowl, he'll run down there and knock him off the bowl and eat out of it and run. He's trying to, until he wanted it all to himself. That's how some people are. I mean, that dog he did not want nobody to have nothing. I told y'all I wasn't gonna hold y'all long, man. Somebody's at the door. I'll catch y'all later. Peace.